Hey everybody. This is a very late episode. I don't have lights on. I'm not set up at all. Um, and I was going to try and do this episode yesterday, and I was like, I can't. And I was going to have a guest on, and we were going to talk about something completely different. And it's like, nah, it's not happening because we lost baby girl last week, and I'm going to try not to cry, but that didn't work. I just want everybody to know that um, it's hard. I'm here all day with Troy. I'm the stay-at-home mommy, I guess you could say. And let me see if I can get some light here because this is pretty bad. Nope, no light. I can't do it. I'm the stay-at-home mom. And Bella was, round the clock care. We, from the time we woke up and Tammy left for work, and then I was with them all day. And then, she got home, Tammy got home, and then it was more, and then in the middle of the night. So basically, Bella's routine was she got medication at 5:30 in the morning, and then at with her breakfast. Sometimes it was a little later. And then 1 o'clock, and then 6 o'clock, and then at 9 o'clock, and then at like 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, I would wake up and come out and give her, get her next pill pocket, and you know, go in. I go in with little cookies, and I remember the first time I did it, I took the pill pockets, and they're so stinky and greasy, but I put it right up against her nose, and she was like, well, like she woke up like, holy crap, which, by the way, sidebar, is a great way to wake up a dog who has aggression issues. When you wake them up, have like hot dogs in front of them, and in front of their nose. Anyway, and I'd always bring in little cookies and stuff like that. Bella was on prednisone and gabapentin and tramadol. And in the beginning, she was on antihistamines to keep the histamines in her cancer cells down. And then we dropped that out and just kept on a regimen of prednisone, gabapentin, and tramadol. And we did have to add in antibiotics because Bella was prone to eating poop. And you could be right there. It didn't matter. And so I think that caused fecal material just to get into her system. And we had to do a urine culture, and change the antibiotics to something that would set her up for success and us up for success, because we were already taking her out 1,000,000 times a day because she was drinking more water because of the prednisone. So I'm telling you all this to just share with you just a small segment of what it's like to take care of a senior dog. If you have never taken care of a senior dog or a sick dog, it's 100% care. Her legs started to get weaker and weaker. We had rugs everywhere in the house. And, because we didn't want her to slide and slip, and especially when I'm by myself, it was really difficult for me to be able to get her up, depending upon what position she was in, and I'd get all the rugs. She inevitably would like wind up on like a piece of the rug, but not all of the rug. So I would have to just gather all the little throw rugs, like the bath mats and stuff that we had out for her, kind of making a little walking path. for her, in addition to the throw rugs and the runner rugs, and just kind of get them all jammed up under her. I would get my grabber and pick up her paw gently and stick the rug under, because it's really a challenge to do all this stuff from a wheelchair. And having MS is just puts a different spin on everything. Like a few weeks ago, I posted that she had swallowed my clicker, and the clicker was in with the treats, and I dropped the treats and the clicker, of course, smelled and tasted like food, and she swallowed that shit whole. And people kind of were like, "Oh, you're irresponsible pet owner." And I'm like, "Listen, I'm not an irresponsible pet owner. I have MS. I have fine motor skill issues. I have a senior dog who has the beginnings of canine dementia, little cognitive dysfunction going on, and she is on prednisone, and everything is fair game for her to ingest." And so that happened. And it's just everything just kind of, I think, with her having a hard time with her legs and getting up and stuff, that wasn't something that we were going to be like, well, she can't walk, so we've got to euthanize her. We weren't going to do that. I was actually investigating, and attending a seminar, which I wound up not doing because of everything that happened last week with her, about senior dogs. And I consulted with the vet techs over at Main Street Animal. Um, and I'm going to try and get some of these slides up here while I'm talking. I talked to them about and this is all different pictures of her and Troy, but mostly her. But I consulted with them because when I was looking for harnesses to like be able to pick them up, senior dog or a dog with mobility issues, there's like 5,000 of them on Amazon. So I called them up and I was like, "Hey, which one is the best one?" And their recommendation was one with two handles that that's kind of evens out the weight distribution. So you have a handle down maybe at the like more the hip area, but you also have one up by the shoulder area. You're not pulling on their belly and getting a band pulling up on that. That's incredibly uncomfortable. So it's definitely something that this is a really cute picture of them. This is when I first met Tammy. This was in 2015. And she was such a trip. But anyway, so there was just a lot of different things going on that I was investigating, and Tammy was investigating for senior dogs and how to deal with, mobility issues. And last Tuesday, or really early Wednesday morning, I guess you could say, she was so restless, just constantly moving up by me, in between us. And she was kind of moving her head a little bit. And we woke up that morning and she just stopped eating. She was like, "I'm done." She would drink a little bit. And it was like we were going back and forth, and Tammy took off from work, of course. And we were just going back and forth with each other. And Tammy was like, "Do you think it's time?" And I'm like, "I think so." I called Dr. Masters on his cell phone at like, I don't know, 5:30, 6:30 in the morning. And, you know, we just talked about the reality of the situation and everything that had gone on. And I asked him about the clicker, and he's like, "It's not the clicker, Maria." He goes, "And even if it was the clicker," he said, "she's not a candidate for surgery because she's on prednisone, and you can't have a dog on pred and everything else she was on and do surgery. It's a nightmare. So we talked about that at length. And then I talked to Tammy and we kind of were like, okay, we're going to call like Lap of Love. And Lap of Love is a company that does mobile euthanasia. They'll come to your home and stuff. So that's a great service. But Tammy had remembered that she had used another vet prior to for her other dog, Mitchie. And so we contacted them eventually. But the whole thing it was weird because I'm like making eggs, I'm doing this, making that, we're making this. We're like, come on, eat, baby girl, come on. Nothing. She was like, no. She's like, I'm telling you guys. She's like, I'm telling you guys, I'm done. And didn't want her to be done, obviously. Neither did Tammy. Look how cute she is. Had this really cool like color in her fur, like really light areas like up on her forehead. I don't know if you could see my pointer or not, but I'm pointing to like up on her forehead, and then it's like darker below her eyes and around her eyes, and her whole back was like that. It was kind of like she was like just tan, shimmery, variegated, just like really cool. But anyway, I called Dr. Masters again and I was like, I'm going through the sleeping ones pretty quick. I called Dr. Masters again and I was like, oh, she had puked a little bit. I was like, oh, she puked. And he got on the phone with me and he was like, listen, she's ready. She is not going to get better. She is, she's ready. And I was like, all right. Like, I needed to hear that from him. Like, I really trust him. I've known him for a really long time. And he's very intelligent. His passion for his craft, being a veterinarian, is just like I drive 3.5 hours to go see him. That's what I do. It's what I do for myself, for my own doctors. It's what I do for the dogs. And is it easy? No, it's fucking hard and a pain in the ass. But when I have a veterinarian that is amazing, like he is, and kind and just brilliant, and doesn't screw around, and knows behavior also, I am gonna go to him because he's the best, and he's taken care of my animals and clients' animals of mine for such a long time. But so he came out. I actually was down in the hall and Tammy couldn't hear me. We do not have a big house, so that's why I'm like, how could she not have heard me? But whatever, your emotions are all over the place. And I just came out and I was like, it's time. And I was like, it's time. We have to do this. So we did that. So she called the vet. And Dr. Davis came over with her vet tech, and they were just really awesome. And we had Troy on the leash because Troy, it doesn't matter what's going on. He's just, if you come in the door, Troy wants to be like the greeter, just everything. Like he's all up in your business all the time, the entire time you're here. So we had him on his leash and gentle leader and stuff. And, he was over there and he said goodbye too. And, he was comforting us. It was comforting me. And then the vet tech had kind of just held him just a little further away. So there wasn't going to be any interference. And then, the process happened and we said goodbye. And, I miss her terribly. But she's not in pain anymore. She's not suffering anymore. And I just, think it's really important for people to give themselves grace and give their dogs grace. And this is Tammy's nephew. And like, just Troy is Lucifer or Lecter, Hannibal Lecter. He was kind of a dick. So for a little bit, so we went through a time where we worked him through just some um just some aggression that was going on with him. So anyway, I just want you guys to take the time that you need to take for yourself. I was kind of like struggling with not doing my podcast yesterday and getting it posted at night so it's there Wednesday morning for everybody. And I don't have a big following, but I take this seriously. I love doing what I do. I love behavior. I love dogs. I love helping people. And but I needed to help myself. So I needed to give myself time to just be okay with not being able to talk and have a guest on and just kind of pretend that, hey, everything's okay. Oh, she was so cute in the bath. She was such a good dog. She was the best dog. This is, I don't know, this is oh, I wish this would play as a video, but I don't know if you guys can see it, but she's always on a tie out. She was always on a tie out because she would jump the fence. And you see all the dirt. She dragged in everything. She dragged her tie out, her leash thing all around this one rug that we had out there a long time ago. And I was calling her. I was like, come on, Belle, come on, Belle. And she wasn't coming in. And I'm like, okay, I went out and I'm like, there you go. This is why you're not coming in. So, so give yourself time to grieve. And, Tammy took a day and a half off the day that we euthanized her, and then she came home early a couple days on Friday. But um, honor that, honor yourself, honor your feelings, and if you have other animals, like with Troy, I mean, it's been like I've been making sure he's good. He's got interaction. There's lots of Kong stuffing, going out, training, playing, loving on him, just, you know, just keeping him active and everything, because he's sad, obviously. Bella really was like his mama, even though she wasn't like motherly towards him. But he was like 7 or 8 weeks old when Tammy got him, and Bella was like, I think she said she adopted Bella when she was 4, and Troy when he was like 7 or 8 weeks old. So, they were together all the time, 24/7. They always were laying on top of each other. This is me in the bathtub. I was sitting on the edge and I slipped back, and just Bella's like, oh my God, really? Can't believe her. This was her little glowing eyes. I don't like those glowing eyes. But see how dirty the bath was. She loved to roll in the dirt. She loved to dig. Oh my God. She would dig a hole. In Florida, we have sand. I don't care what part of the state of Florida you live in, you got sand, and dogs can dig in like a nanosecond. So crazy. But she loved to dig. Look at her teeth. That was like the best thing. She just loved doing that. But yeah, so I mean, this is our baby girl. I miss her. I love her. She was the sweetest thing. She didn't bark. She didn't jump. She didn't poop and pee in the house. She just was a really cool dog. She didn't counter surf. She didn't chew anything. She didn't steal anything. I think the worst thing that Bella did, if you want to say it was bad, is she jumped the fence and she okay, this is the tumor. You see that? That's like the big paw pad on her front right foot. It was the whole pad, and Dr. Masters did amazing surgery on it. And there's a bunch of them in here, but I'm just going to go through them really quick. It was bad. Oh, there she's wrapped up a little bit. But this was on the way home. I had her wrapped up in the car with me. This is the bag that we had. Yuko, the vet tech, our vet tech gave us an IV bag with gauze through it to put over her foot because, she just had surgery on the bottom of her foot. All those boots that are out there suck. So don't waste your time because we spent a lot of time and money doing all that. And this is so cute. They're so cute together. But oh, look, this is me. I spilled this cup of dry food. This is when I was doing dry food with them. And she was right there to eat it. But she's so cute. Excuse me, you guys. I am really tired. I am really drained. I've been sick, and it's just emotional shit for the last this is how many gallons is that? I don't know how many gallons that is, but we have this gigantic treat jar that I used to make kombucha, what do you call them? Scobies. And have this whole thing going on in this glass jar. It's huge. It's like, what, foot and a half tall or something. I put all the biscuits in there. So we filled it and Tammy put it on the ground and she just so cute. But yeah, I love her. I am sad. It's empty here. It's empty in this house. Even though I've got Troy, of course, but it's totally empty. So Troy and I are grieving. Tammy and I are grieving. When she comes home and when we're here, she's not working on the weekends. I was telling somebody we move as one unit, um, and we don't go in the bedroom without one another and out here, watching TV. And it's kind of like we just need that closeness with one another. I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain, but through the grief, grief can, destroy you, destroy people, destroy relationships, but when we grieve, we grieve together and we just are there for each other and allow each other the space to grieve however we need to grieve, but we're also like, God, you guys, I'm exhausted. And I think talking about this is like a stress release, but also a release in talking about this. And again, I wasn't going to do this, but I don't know, for whatever reason, I think it's important that people, I don't know. This bed, she was like, oh, I'm not going to get on this bed. And one day I came out here and she was on that bed. She's like, look at this, mama. I'm on the bed, little mama. She was so cute. And then, of course, Troy jumped up on it. But she used to be terrified of this cot because she tried jumping on it once, Tammy said, and it moved. She was like, I'm never going on that again. But that day she did. It was so funny. She's so cute. But yeah, it's like we just really love her and really miss her, and we support one another through this. It's really important to have support through your grief because it is hard. It is something that takes time. Um, it is something that especially with animals, can be like, oh, it's just a dog, or oh, it's just a cat, or oh, it's just, whatever animal that you had that you are, excuse me again, that you are bonded to, and you lose that connection through death. A lot of people don't understand it, but you need to honor yourself and honor your animal, and just take the time you need to just be there with each other. And like I was saying, if you don't have anybody, um, you can look into therapy. If you go to church, maybe you could talk to a pastor if they have therapy there. There are a lot of therapy organizations and some therapists, private therapists, who do sliding scale work. I just think it's really important to keep talking about grief, and not let it bog you down and not let it freeze you. I went through that with Rufus, and ironically, this process with losing Bella actually helped me. We lost Bella when we were in New York on vacation, and I left him down here to um, stay with my bestie, Jasmine. And yeah, he passed away. He was sick. He had, I think, what was it? Cushing's. It's either Addison's or Cushing's, but it was Cushing's. And I was treating him, and I did everything, but damn it, he passed away when I was on vacation, which completely sucked ass because I didn't get to say goodbye to him. He was my like ride or die. We did everything together. We went everywhere together when possible, except for this trip. Like when we would drive up to New York, we would leave him with Jasmine. It was just easier for everybody. But yeah, it was, I punished myself for, Jesus, like almost 2 years, or about 2 years, blaming myself that I didn't do enough, that I didn't spend enough money, that, I should have borrowed money, like all this bullshit. And that's exactly what it was. It was just bullshit. And I would torture myself literally every freaking day, and it was like, there's nothing I can do. There's no amount of self torture that I can do that's going to change the situation, that's going to bring Rufus back. He was ill, he had a disease. I did everything. Dr. Masters, myself, Tammy, Jasmine, we did everything that we could, and he was ready, I just hate that I wasn't there, but don't let it keep you stuck, I guess, is my message. And I needed to uh, go back to therapy and go back to my therapist that just rocks the house. She's amazing at what she does, and she helped me process it, and she's been there for me through this. And um, yeah, I've really turned a page with the grief of Rufus, but now I am grieving Bella, and just allowing it to happen, allowing it to come through me. They're Bella waves. So one minute you're laughing, or you're just doing something completely different, and the next minute you're in a puddle of tears, because you just are. You're thinking about something, you see something, you smell something, you do something, or nothing, and you just like burst into tears. Tammy put my ramp back um, out the back door. I have a ramp so I can get out onto the porch, but we picked it up. I was like, baby, pick that ramp up because she needs access. So let's just take it away for her because she's not walking down the ramp like you're supposed to. She's like, I'm going to jump over it. Whatever. I don't know what her deal was, but that's what was going on. So we took it out, and she put it back, and I was like, oh my God, you put the ramp back. And I was like, because hadn't been back for like over a year. Um, so I don't know, you guys. I know this is a sad episode, but we've got just a real gift of these dogs in our lives and the joy that they bring us and the love that they give. And I think it's just so important to be gentle with yourself, do what you can, do what you can financially. Um, Reach out. There are some resources out there for if you have financial needs. You can't take care of your pet. There are also low cost veterinarians, some shelters, some SPCAs and humane societies, local ones have some funds. Some of them are income based, but sometimes you can find a low cost spay neuter clinic that is not income based and has a veterinarian on staff, and they will see you. I actually was part of opening up a low cost spay neuter clinic over in Pinellas County, and we had a veterinarian on staff, and eventually it was like, come on in, let's take care of your dog, for other things other than spay neuter. Let's get them heartworm medication, let's get them flea and tick medication, that type of thing. But I mean, the potential is there to go even further. I know the SPCA out there in Largo used to have a veterinarian on staff. That part was open to the public for a little while. I'm not sure what it is now, what it's like now, because I'm not over there in Tampa Bay anymore. But um, you know, there are options, or freaking A, reach out to me if you need to cry or process because you just lost your pet. I'll totally listen to you. Yeah, we need to honor our grief in this life, and because things are hard, and if you stuff it, it will poison you, it will keep you stuck, it will torture you, it will trap you, it will freeze you, and you don't want that. You want to keep moving, you want to just process the best way you can. So I really appreciate you guys listening. I hope this was helpful. I think it was a little helpful for me to just kind of share a little bit of what's been going on. This is when she was up in New York with Tammy and it was freezing. So Tammy got her this little flannel pajama set. Isn't it cute? It's so cute. I miss you, baby girl. I love you, baby girl. So have a great night, everybody. Again, I'm sorry this is late. I've just been kind of going through it a little bit. And I love you guys. I'm here for you. I know you guys are here for me. I know I don't have a big following, but if you would be so kind as to like, share, and subscribe, and if you haven't already and you're listening to this, also, um, if you can go to, let's see, I post this on Spotify and Apple Podcast and YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. So I'm pretty much everywhere. It's either look me up under Maria Ryan or Dog Gone Positive, and you'll find me. All right, you guys, have a great night. I love you. I'll talk to you guys soon.